What's going on, guys? It's Unknown Player here, and today we're going to be covering the biggest patch to hit Advanced Warfare that drops today on the Xbox platforms, and I think it'll be out on the PlayStation very soon, within the next week or so. But this is a very, very big patch, a lot of interesting things to talk about, and as always, I'm going to keep you guys up to date with the latest information, and we're going to be going over all the important things. And also, one of the most notable things, there's a new DLC weapon, the LMG/laser shotgun, which adds to the game, and I'm going to be making a video very, very shortly. Stay tuned on my channel. I'll have gameplay of the new weapon, talking about it, breaking it down very, very soon, so stay tuned for that. But today we're going to talk about the new update. There's a lot of interesting things to happen. The first thing is that there's new royalty gear, which is now available in supply drops to be able to be obtained. I've talked about this in previous videos, but it's basically the corresponding second half of the royalty gear, the purple royalty gear. So you got the pants, you got the exo, you got the loadout chest, and if you combine that with the current gear that's in the game, so the hat and the boots and like the knee pads, all the gloves and all that stuff, you basically got a full set of royalty gear. So the second half of the royalty gear is now available in the game. There have also been changes to matchmaking and connectivity. That's a very broad thing that's always in all the patches, but always good to see. They added 15 master prestiges, which is now in the game. We actually got a video about that yesterday on my channel. Definitely check that out if you want to learn more about that information. 15 new prestiges, ways to earn elite weapons. Definitely check that video out if you want to learn about what that is all about. But we thought it would be sometime in March, and it turns out we actually got it today. So definitely check out that video. As I said, there's lots of interesting things in that video, including how to earn things like the Obsidian Steed. I'll link it in the description, also annotate it on screen right now for you to watch. So next up, 15 new supply drop challenges for the daily challenges. There's more kind of variation to unlock those, and then we're going to get into the weapon patches. I know a lot of you guys have been waiting for this, and I myself have been interested to see what they're going to be changing. This is going to be the weapons that are buffed, and one weapon in particular, the ASM1, which actually caught a little bit of nerve. So let's get into these actual weapon changes. The heavy weapons have an increased player movement speed by 5%, so that means you'll be able to move a little bit faster with heavy weapons. They're a little bit less slow and weigh you down a little bit more. They've corrected these scopes for the A4. The MK14 has reduced recoil, so nothing with like the damage or the range or the drop off stuff like that, just decreased recoil, and this is basically more accurate. The ARX 160 has an increased magazine size, which is very strange. The ARX would not be something that I thought needed any buff in any way, but there you go, it's got an increased magazine size. I guess you don't need to run extended mags on that anymore. The AMR9, a very weak submachine gun, now has increased damage and an increased basically fire rate, so the burst will come out very, very quickly now. The SN6 has reduced recoil. As I said, the only thing I thought was bad about the weapon was that a little bit of recoil, but now it's been reduced, so maybe it's a little bit more viable and maybe one of the best SMGs in the game now. And speaking of which, we've also got the KF5, which has a mid damage range increase, so possibly the KF5 could overtake the ASM1 as the best SMG. I'm pretty sure that's not the case. I think the ASM1 will still be the reigning king, but the KF5 is definitely a contender now that has a mid range damage increase. Then we also have the Atlas 45, the pistol, that has mid damage range increase and also max range increase. The thing was very, very weak before, and also the PDW, another machine pistol, that thing has increased damage now, and that definitely needed it too. The shotguns now have reduced hip fire spread with Gung Ho. We saw it in the last patch, so it seems like they've done it again, so they're really reducing the hip fire spread with their shotguns when they have the Gung Ho perk attached. They also has the S12, that has increased fire rate, increased damage. That thing definitely needed it. The EPM3 has reduced recoil. The Lynx has reduced recoil too, and finally the poor ASM1 has got a slightly reduced initial fire rate. So if you don't know, the ASM1 actually fires a different fire rate. The first few bullets fire quickly, and that kind of evens out, and now that first fire rate is going to be a little bit slower. So perhaps the ASM1 is a little bit less lethal, but I'm sure it's still going to be the reigning king in the SMG category. Now there's more updates to talk about. They've got to replace camouflage for the Diamond of Royalty, which is a strange little thing. They've now apparently corrected those, so they don't show very strange images like you guys have told me a lot about, and I showed you in one of my previous videos. They've adjusted the kill feed, so it's now from 4 seconds to 6 seconds, so the amount of time it takes for the kill feed to disappear. I know a lot of people make montages, were very upset about that 4 seconds. You can't really, I don't think it was possible to get a quad feed where all 4 kills show up in the feed, but I think now it might be possible. And they've also changed the font and the brightness to make it a lot more visible. It's like a lot more of a brighter red and like a darker blue, and they make it a little bit more kind of easy to differentiate the two enemy teams, I guess. There have also been quite a few score streak updates, which is interesting. The sentry gun turret now dies in 1 melee hit, which is quite interesting. I thought the sentry guns are quite weak as they stand, but now they're going to be even more weaker. You have to go up and like melee them 3 times to kill them, but now they die in 1 hit, so they're going to be very, very weak. It's like back in the Modern Warfare 2 days. Decreased amount of time for the players to hold X to exit the remote sentry turret, so you can exit those things a lot more quicker. The basic missile strike now travels faster when you boost it, so that's going to be very good. They come down a lot quicker. They did take a very long time beforehand, so I'll be interested to see how much that actually affected. And also the Vulcan lasts longer, which I thought was definitely needed. A lot of the score streaks in Advanced Warfare are quite weak, to be honest. honest. Then we have added probation time for players who do not complete or disconnect from ranked play matches. So we knew this was coming as well, made videos covering this and how probation was something Michael Condrey thought was necessary in ranked play and also public matches. They haven't seemed to add it to public matches. Perhaps they have, but they haven't said it. But there's definitely a probation in ranked play. So if you back out, if you abandon your game, you're going to get punished, and they might ban you for a few minutes from playing before you search for another game. So definitely watch out. If you like to rage quit a lot of games, you probably shouldn't want to do that because you might get banned for a short amount of time. They adjust the colors and overall look of broadcast mode. Here is a screenshot of what that looks like. I myself was at COD Champs this weekend, and I kind of noticed that the broadcast mode and the essential look that all of the spectators get could be done a little bit better, and the red versus blue kind of aspect wasn't really too clear, but now it's very, very clear. It's very good looking, and I think this is definitely an improvement. So I'm really glad to see this, and just in time for COD Champs, for that kicks off in a few weeks. We'll have a very cool kind of broadcast mode. So when you're watching COD Champs, when you're watching these professional games, you're able to see exactly what's going on, and now it's a little bit more clearer. They also added the ability for players to pause the game in private matches of Exo Zombies. That was also a feature that was very much requested. You can now pause the game so you don't have to go on like 28-hour binges to try and get a world record. So that has been a ton of updates to Advanced Warfare. I'm sure there's even more things they haven't talked about. Often there are little sly things they sneak in there which they don't actually announce in the official patch notes. So of course, when we find out those things, I will definitely be updating you guys and uploading videos detailing what is in those patches. So as I said, I'm going to have another video very shortly about the new DLC weapon, kind of showing gameplay of it. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you found it informational, give it a like rating, subscribe to this channel, or follow me on Twitter for the latest Advanced Warfare news, and I'll see you guys later.